What's going on, everybody? Welcome back to a new YouTube video. Today we're going to be doing a 2-round NFL mock draft. 2 rounds. The first time I'm doing a 2-round mock draft. I've been sticking to the first round for a while, but we're going to go 2 rounds today. Once again, no notes, no preparation. As it happens for the NFL draft, I don't do these picks in advance. We do them live just like the teams would do. We're going to go through the first round a little bit faster than normal today because we have that second round to get to. We'll start with Caleb Williams to the Bears. I still think this is going to be the pick. If you have questions about is Justin Fields the guy and you have the number 1 pick, you might as well take Caleb Williams. We're back now. We had a little technical difficulty to the first pick. PFF didn't want to load. Back here with the second pick, the Washington Commanders. I'm going to go Drake May. I'm going to continue to go QBs with 1, 2, 3, so we might as well just go with Jaden Daniels off the board here at number 3. I just think it's the most likely situation. All 3 of those teams badly need quarterback. Those are 3 really, really good quarterback prospects. May is closer to Caleb Williams than a lot of people would like to admit, and Jaden Daniels is not far behind at all. At number 4, this is where the draft really starts, as some people like to say, because we probably can bank in 3 quarterbacks. So when the team trades up, I can't do trades with PFF. I don't have premium. So we go no trades. But 4, I'm going to go Marvin Harrison Jr. The Cardinals really need a weapon for Kyler Murray, and Marvin Harrison is the best weapon in this draft class. Maybe right behind him is Brock Bowers, so I'm going to give to the Chargers. Ever since Jim Harbaugh went to the Chargers, I'm going to continue to give the Chargers Brock Bowers because they badly need tight end, and Jim Harbaugh loves to use his tight ends at Michigan. Giants here at number 6. I'm going to go with, I've been giving them Rome Odunze or Malik Neighbors, and I'm going to continue to do that. I'm going to go Malik Neighbors today. I think he's closer than Marvin Harrison than people like to admit. Neighbors is a really, really good prospect. Electric speed. Really great with the ball in his hands. And the Giants could really use some weapons, whether they decide to draft a QB or stick with Daniel Jones. Titans at number 7. This is where I kind of go with a draft riser. I'm going to go Taliese Fuaga. He has a really, really good Senior Bowl. Fuaga, really, really strong player out of Oregon State. Titans badly need offensive tackle, and Fuaga fits in there. Maybe rises a little bit after that Senior Bowl. Falcons here at number 8. This is where I'm going to go with the first defensive player off the board. And I'm going to go with Dallas Turner. I still think he's going to be the first defensive player off the board. He's a really, really good edge rusher out of Alabama. The Falcons badly need defense, and Dallas Turner gives them some pressure off the edge. Bears at 9 here. I'm going to go wide receiver, and I'm going to push Rome Odunze here at 9. You need to get Caleb Williams another weapon outside of DJ Moore, and Rome Odunze is that guy. Really, really great player from Washington. Great deep threat. Williams with a really good deep ball is going to be able to hit Rome Odunze on some nice routes their rookie year. Jets at 10. This is going to be a tackle. Joe Alt falling to 10 in this version of the mock draft. Anything can happen. I've got Joe Alt here to the Jets. The Jets, you don't know what's happening really with Mekhi Becton. He's always hurt. He's good when he's on the field. But Joe Alt can solidify 1 or 2 tackle spots for years to come. He boosts himself back up into the top 10 with a really good 2023. The Vikings here at number 11. I really think they could go quarterback. There's been rumors of them going quarterback here. But I think they'll most likely trade up in real life. And in this version with no trades, I don't think they're, without getting one of those 3 guys, they might decide to go the veteran route or re-sign Kirk Cousins. And I really, really think they could use some help on the back end. So we're going to go with a cornerback here. And we're going to go Terrion Arnold, first corner off the board. Had a really, really productive season at Alabama. He initially declared to go back to school until Nick Saban retired and convinced him to go to the draft. Got targeted a lot on the other side of Kool-Aid McKinstry, and turns out he's the better corner than Kool-Aid McKinstry. Broncos at 12 here. Sean Payton said they're looking to fall in love with a quarterback, and I think that's going to be J.J. McCarthy through the draft. McCarthy's polarizing. People don't like him. He didn't have as big of numbers as Michael Penix. He's not as exciting to watch, but he's still a really good quarterback prospect. A good arm, his accuracy is decent, he's a really good athlete, and he's shown improvement throughout his 3 seasons at Michigan. I think Sean Payton would be really happy to get J.J. McCarthy in Denver. Raiders here at pick 13. I think the Raiders have a number of positions they could go for here. I'm going to go O-line for them. I think if Olu Fashanu falls here to 13, the Raiders would be really, really happy. Fashanu is a really, really good offensive tackle prospect. He's my OT1. A lot of people have him at 1, 2, or 3, depending on how you order Alt and Fuaga. Fashanu, a great athlete, a younger guy. He'll be really, really good for the Raiders. Saints here at 14. Tackle just went. They need D-line, they need edge, they need quarterback. I'm going to go edge rusher for them. It's just a matter of which edge rusher do I want to push up on the board here. And I'm going to go Laiatu Latu. Had to medically retire from football at one point. I say this every time. It could affect his draft stock. But his tape is so incredible to not have him go high in this draft. Colts at 15. This is going to be a corner. This is an easy one for me. This is going to be Quinyon Mitchell. You look at Toledo and you say, all right, he played at Toledo. But then you look at the Senior Bowl and he matched up one-on-one man press coverage with all these great Power 5 wide receivers and shut them down. The only rep he really lost was Roman Wilson, and that's because he slipped, and that's going to happen. It wasn't really a win on Roman Wilson's part. It was more of a slip, an accident on Quinyon Mitchell's part. 16, I've been giving Troy Fautanu to the Seahawks a lot in the first round. I'm going to go Jackson Powers Johnson, another Senior Bowl guy. Jackson Powers Johnson, center at Oregon. The Seahawks badly need a center, and he played really, really well that week in Mobile, Alabama. I think JPJ is going to be really, really happy with the situation he finds himself in Seattle. Jaguars at 17, I'm going to go wide receiver for them. I think they could use another weapon. I'm going to push Brian Thomas Jr. up the board a little bit higher than I've been giving him, but I think he's an elite deep threat. The tape speaks for itself. He had a really productive season this past year at LSU, and they need to get some more weapons for T-Law. Bengals at 18, I'm going to continue to go offensive line for as long as possible. I'm going to go Tyler Guyton, another Senior Bowl riser. It's kind of that time of the year where right after the Senior Bowl, everyone starts to rise. But Tyler Guyton, really, really strong and athletic guy from Oklahoma. Great pass protector. Just needs to develop that run game. But pass protecting works for what the Bengals want to do with Joe Burrow. 19 for the Rams, I'm going to go defense. I'm going to go corner. And I'm going to give them a physical corner in Nate Wiggins. A little bit raw in coverage, but plays really physical, has the traits, and has shown a lot of flashes on tape. Steelers, this is going to continue to be tackle for me. I mean, Latham's fallen here. Mims is here. I've gone Mims a lot. I'm going to go Latham this time. Latham, probably the strongest guy on the field instantly when he steps on a football field, but just needs to clean up some technical work. But I think the Steelers, good coaching in Mike Tomlin there, can help him with that. Dolphins at 21. They've been a tough team to kind of mock, but this one's going to be a guy with inside-out flexibility, an offensive tackle who projects as a guard, if I can find him here, Troy Fautanu, who projects as a guard in the NFL, but I think could stick at tackle if he wanted to. Dolphins just need offensive line help, and he's got the flexibility. Eagles here at 22. This is going to be an easy pick for me. This is going to be corner. And I was thinking initially about pushing Enix Rakestraw here, but I think the gene fits what the Eagles would want to do. He's got safety flexibility, corner. I think he can stick on the outside. He could play nickel. He could play safety. Gives Nick Sirianni a versatile piece to work for his defense. 23, we got the Houston Texans here. I'm going to give them wide receiver. I think I really like Nico Collins. I really like Tank Dell. I think you could use one more guy. Let's go pure size here and go Keon Coleman, the best jump ball receiver in the draft, but there's questions about his separation. Typically a regular question we get with those taller receivers, but Keon Coleman should be a good weapon for CJ Stroud. Cowboys at 24. Cowboys are a tough team to mock. I think I'm just going to go best player available for the Cowboys situation. That's going to be edge rusher Jared Verse. Had 2 really productive seasons at Florida State after transitioning from UAlbany. Used to be a tight end, learned the edge rusher position really quick, and should be a plug-and-play instant starter guy for the Cowboys. Packers here at 25. This is tackle. They're going to be moving on from David Bakhtiari this offseason, and Amarius Mims is a plug-and-play, starting where Bakhtiari was. You got Zach Tom on the other side, and I think you're good. Bucks at 26. They've also been a really tough team for me to mock. I like going interior here, potentially. I mean, you look at the interior guys, there isn't anyone that really stands out, but then you go look at the tackles, some guys that project inside, like Graham Barton. Dominic Pooney could be pushed up the board. I've kind of talked myself out of offensive line here. I'm going to go wide receiver. You need to replace what you're losing in Mike Evans, possibly in free agency. And I'm going to go Troy Franklin. People have kind of stopped talking about Troy Franklin, but he's a really, really good player. Tall and speedy and lanky, and that's really 3 coveted traits at the receiver position. Cardinals at pick 27 here. we gave them earlier Marvin Harrison Jr. We're going to address the other side of the ball. We're going to go defensive line. And we're going to stop the slide here of Johnny Jerzon Newton. Really, really good pass rusher. Just a little undersized, but provides a lot of juice on the inside. And I think the Cardinals could just need more defensive pieces. Bills here at 28. I would go wide receiver, but I think a lot of the wide receivers they would take are off the board at the moment. So where do we look for the Buffalo Bills? If it's not wide receiver for them, I would probably look onto the defensive line and go Byron Murphy. Had a really productive season at Texas. He's a really, really good player. I think he's worked his way into the first round conversation. Lions at 29. This is an easy one for me. They need corner help badly. Kool-Aid McKinstry and Ennis Rakestraw still here. I'm going to talk myself into keeping Ennis Rakestraw in the first round. He wasn't able to compete in the Senior Bowl, which really, really sucks. I think he could have had a great week. But Rakestraw I still think finds his way into the top 40. Maybe not the first round, but he does here. Ravens at 30. Could I talk myself into wide receiver? I could, but we're going to go cornerback, and we're going to take Kool-Aid McKinstry off the board. I just think more help from the back end. The Ravens like Alabama players. McKinstry, really, really good athlete. Had a better season last year than this past year in college football. He was targeted more, gave up a lot more. But it's also because you had Terrion Arnold on that other side who you really had to pick your poison. At the beginning of the season, they were going after Arnold, and then they're like, we can't do that. So they start going after McKinstry. 49ers, this is an easy pick. This is going to be Graham Barton. Inside-out flexibility, could stick at tackle, can play guard, and the 49ers interior specifically got dominated in that Super Bowl. They just need somebody else there to try to guard guys like Chris Jones, who killed them in the Super Bowl. Speaking of that, Super Bowl draft orders are finally set now. At 32, we got the Chiefs. The Chiefs. Where could the Chiefs go? The Chiefs are going to go wide receiver. I didn't think I was going to push another one up into the first round, but Ladd McConkey had a really, really good Senior Bowl. Athletic guy, great route runner, just gets open, reliable hands. I mean, he's going to be valuable for a team like the Chiefs, and they're going to really, really like to have him on the team. Pick number 33 here, we've got the Carolina Panthers. Starting out the second round, the Panthers' first pick of the draft, and we're going to go defense. We're going to go edge rusher. We're gonna put Darius Robinson here off the board. Again, another Senior Bowl guy, had a really good week. It just kind of happens. Those guys rise. Robinson should provide some juice off the edge on the other side of Brian Burns. Patriots here, we gave him Jaden Daniels. Now we're going to go tackle. We're going to give a guy from Yale here, see if I can pronounce his name, Kirim Gaji. Don't crucify me on the name here. I don't know how to pronounce it. We'll call him Kieran. I haven't gotten to his tape yet, but I've seen a lot of guys like Daniel Jeremiah and Ryan Wilson talking highly of him, and I trust their expertise. They work in the scouting business. So I would have pushed him up the board here to the team that desperately needs tackle. Cardinals here, we gave them Johnny Newton and Marvin Harrison earlier. And we're going to go back to the defense. We're going to go to corner this time. And we're going to give Mike Sainristil. I think he'll rise up boards as the process continues. A really, really fast, physical cover corner. And the Cardinals desperately need help on the back end. As another team that needs help on the defense in general, we're going to go defensive line. Specifically, edge rusher. They traded away Montez Sweat. They traded away Chase Young. They need to kind of regroup. And we're going to go Chris Braswell. Kind of the opposite of Dallas Turner. Braswell's more of the strength guy, and Turner was more of the speed guy in Alabama. Both were very productive. Chargers at 37, we gave them Brock Bowers. Now we're going to give another weapon on the offensive end. We're going to go wide receiver, and we're going to go with Roman Wilson. Jim Harbaugh taking one of his Michigan guys, Wilson. Really, really good route runner, great hands. I think you're going to find a spot with him, especially the Chargers. You need wide receiver with Keenan Allen and Mike Williams, only 1 year left on their deal. Josh Palmer, 1 year left on his deal. That leaves you Quentin Johnston and Darius Davis. You need somebody else. Titans at 38, I gave them O-line earlier. We're going to go defensive back, and we're going to go Cameron Kinchins. They traded away Kevin Byard. Actually, Kevin Byard might be on the team still. Micah Hyde is on the Bills. Kevin Byard did get traded to the Eagles. They need a safety. Cameron Kinchens is more than just a regular safety. He can play box or play back. But I think that the Titans could really use a guy like Kinchens. Giants, we gave them Malik Nabers. This is where we see another quarterback leave the board. Is it going to be Bo Nix? Is it going to be Michael Penix Jr.? It will be Michael Penix Jr. I don't think the Giants stick with Daniel Jones. And in that case, you didn't get one of the top 3 quarterbacks. So where do you go? You go with Michael Penix Jr. Really, really productive. Great arm. Great zip on the football. Just needs to learn touch. He's got the injury history, and the age hurts him. But I do think Michael Penix is a really good quarterback, and I think he'll find his way into the league for a while. Back up here with the Commanders, they've got Chris Braswell, and they've got Drake May so far. We're going to go in the offensive line. You need to protect Drake May. We're going to stop the slide of Kingsley Suamataia, a monster of a man at the tackle spot. You just need somebody there to protect your new franchise quarterback in Drake May. Packers here at 41. We gave them offensive line earlier, so now we're going to look to the defense. We're going to go interior defensive line. We're going to go with Braden Fisk, another Senior Bowl guy, had a really, really good week. Strong guy. Proved kind of that strength that was questioned during the season in those one-on-ones. Vikings here at 42. Didn't take a quarterback earlier, but they will now. It's going to be Bo Nix, a polarizing guy, someone that I'm not too high on personally. But Bo Nix just was a winner in college, and I think that plus his IQ and his experience is pushing him up boards. Vikings get a guy here that they could potentially be their franchise guy. Falcons, we give them Dallas Turner. Now we're going to look to the offensive end, give a weapon here. We're going to go with Devontae Walker. Had a bad Senior Bowl week. He was getting separation, but just couldn't catch the passes. But I'm not concerned because it wasn't an issue for him in college. So I don't really see it being an issue in the league. Raiders at 44. This is going to be a surprise quarterback pick for me. I didn't think I was going to go quarterback here. But I recently saw some things about Spencer Rattler being pushed up into the second round. Rattler could be a guy that competes with Aiden O'Connell as the starter over there in Las Vegas. I don't know. It's an interesting conversation. Again, it's a mock draft. We like to get crazy. Anything can happen. Mock drafts, everyone always says, oh, well, that's an unrealistic mock draft. Well, I say you don't know what's a realistic or unrealistic possibility until we get to the draft night. So no mock draft is really unrealistic. By technicality. So I don't think it's awful to have Rattler here at 44. He's been working his way up boards. The media has been giving him a lot more hype recently. Saints, where did we go with the Saints? We went Latu. So now we're going to go offensive line. Trevor Penning hasn't been what they thought he is, and they might try to push him inside. So we're going to go Patrick Paul from Houston. Didn't give up a single sack in his entire Houston career, I believe. Saints could use that to protect Derek Carr. Colts here at 46. Where did we go for Indianapolis? We went with Quinyon Mitchell. That makes my decision pretty easy. We're going to go to the secondary, and we're going to take Kalen Carson off the board. Haven't gotten to watching Kalen Carson's tape, but I've heard that he's just a really, really smart and instinctual player in coverage. Just a guy that can stick on the outside, and I think that's what the Colts need. Giants have had a flurry of picks. They got Michael Penix so far, and they also have Malik Nabers. For me, Malik Nabers, Michael Penix, where else do we go for the Giants? We go offensive line. I'm going to go a guy that could stick a tackle, but will most likely go to guard. Jordan Morgan. I think if you want to slide Evan Neal to guard and put Morgan at right tackle, you could do that. Or if you want to keep Neal at right tackle and go Morgan guard, you could do that as well. Jaguars, we gave them Brian Thomas Jr. This is an easy secondary spot for me. I'm going to go with Tyler Nubin. Haven't gotten to his tape yet, but I've heard that he's just going to go high. He's the type of guy that teams like with his cover skills. He's an athletic guy and a smart guy. He's going to do well in interviews and at the combine. I'm going to push him up here. Bengals at 49. This is where I'm going to get a little weird. Because I gave the Bengals offensive line earlier, and I don't really know how much you have left out of Joe Mixon. He kind of had a resurgence, but I'm not a believer. So I'm gonna go running back here, and I'm gonna go Braylon Allen, really productive guy out of Wisconsin. Had a way better freshman and sophomore year than this past year. But I think Braylon Allen is a hell of a player, and I think the Bengals would be lucky to get him. Kind of come in, work with Joe Mixon and Chase Brown this year, and then have Allen and Brown take over next year, and Joe Mixon out of the team. Eagles here at 50. We went with Cooper DeJean earlier. So now we're going to look on the other side of the ball, and we're going to go wide receiver. They've got A.J. Brown. They've got Smitty. I think they could use someone who just, I don't know. I like Devontae Smith in the slot, personally, more than I like him on the outside. So I'm going to go with an outside guy, and it's going to be the speed of Xavier Worthy. Worthy, I think, could play slot. I think could play outside. He can kind of play either. It kind of works with the flexibility of Devontae Smith. But the speed of Worthy is going to be something that Nick Sirianni will covet, as he can open up the field more for his guys underneath, or use Worthy as a deep threat on a targeted pass. Rams here at 51. Where did we go for the Los Angeles Rams? We went Nate Wiggins, which makes my decision pretty easy. Going interior offensive line. Where do I want to go? Maybe I don't want to go. I can't talk myself into IOL here. We go best player available for the Rams. They just came off a playoff appearance. Braylon Trice is still there, really productive edge rusher. It's never bad to have more guys who can rotate in and get pressure from the quarterback. Best player available. I mean, it's an option that teams do very often. So even if it's not, teams don't always draft for a need. That's not always the best way to do it either. If you just get best players, sometimes that's better than getting the position that you need and reaching. Steelers at 52. This is going to be corner for me. And I am going to go Kamari Lassiter from Georgia. Lassiter didn't really impress me too much on tape, but I know he's a proven athlete and a really young guy. I know he's coachable. Kirby Smart makes sure his guys at Georgia are coachable. Again, with similar to how we went in the first round, the Steelers take a guy who Mike Tomlin can mold. Closing in here, about 11 more picks to go. We've got the Dolphins at 53. If I remember right, we went O-line with the Dolphins. Yes, we did. We went Troy Fautanu. So I'm going to push up a tight end off the board, and I'm going to go with Ja'Tavion Sanders. I was just scrolling and take a look at the rankings that they have for these tight ends. Go JT Sanders. I don't really like the tight end situation that the Dolphins have, and I think JT Sanders is a really, really productive tight end out of Texas. They'd be lucky to have another target for Tua and make that offense even more deadly than it already is. Eagles up again. Where did we go? We went wide receiver, and we went corner. Corner in the first round, a wide receiver more recently with Xavier Worthy. So now I'm going to go to, I could look at linebacker. The Eagles don't draft linebacker high, but Peyton Wilson is a really good player. This is a tough one for me. Eagles. They do love D-line. They do love D-line. I'm going to go T'Vondre Sweat. I'm going to stop his slide. Really, really productive, great run stopper, just a gap eater over there. Him and Jordan Davis, although I know Jordan Davis was not very good. I got told that by an Eagles fan in the comment section. A few mock drafts ago, I didn't really watch much Eagles football this year, so I didn't know. But he can kind of maybe open things up for Davis, or Davis can open things up for him on the inside. You're losing Fletcher Cox soon to either contract or retirement. Browns at 55, their first pick of the draft. This is an easy wide receiver spot for me. I'm a Browns fan, and I know they need help. Now, there's a lot of guys here I really like at the wide receiver position. I'm going to go with Malachi Corley. This could be a little bit of an odd pick. I really like Malachi Corley. He's a great slot receiver, really fast, measured well at the Senior Bowl. You have Elijah Moore if you're the Browns, but Moore can play on the outside and Corley in the slot. You've got Tillman and David Bell to rotate in, but you just need more weapons. Comes down to it. You need more weapons. Cowboys at 56. Where did we go for Dallas? Dallas went Jared Verse. So for this one, I'm going to have them go guard. I'm going to have them go Christian Haynes from UConn. Was in the first round in preseason, kind of fell a little bit. Interior isn't the most valued position, but I think you like Tyler Smith to eventually move to tackle, even though he was really good at guard, and I think Christian Haynes allows you to put Tyler Smith over at tackle again. Packers at 57. Packers, we went Braden Fisk at 41 and Amarius Mims. So we went both offensive and defensive line. We're going to go safety. It's mentioned as one of their team needs here, but I also think There's some guys here at safety that I really like. James Williams is a little bit farther on the board than I thought he would be. I'm going to go with Javon Bullard. That Georgia defense was just really good. Players are going to get drafted high out of it. Bullard, really physical, hard hitter, great in zone coverage. Packers could just use some extra defensive help on the back end. Bucks at 58 as we're approaching the end of this first round. Bucks at 58. Where did we go earlier? We went Troy, Franklin, Bucks at the end of the second round. My apologies. For this one, we're going to go right back to O-line, and we're going to go tackle, and we're going to go Dominic Pooney here. I think he's going to go to guard, play guard in the NFL, but they haven't listed a tackle here. Another really, really good Senior Bowl guy, and I think that he's going to be loved over there in Tampa Bay. Houston at 59. Where did we go with Houston? Where did we go with Houston? Houston took Keon Coleman. Okay, well that makes my pick very easy. I had some Texans fans telling me that they needed a linebacker, and although I don't really like to draft linebacker high, there's going to be one that gets drafted, and it's going to be Edgerrin Cooper off the first one off the board. Haven't gotten to linebacker tape yet, but I watched some Texas A&M games this past year. Cooper was all over the field flying. He's a really instinctual guy, makes tackles, fills run gaps, isn't afraid to get hit, and Cooper should help solidify the middle of that defense for the Texans. Bills, Buffalo Bills. We went with Byron Murphy, so we go wide receiver here. It's going to be A.D. Mitchell. A real guy who can play on the other side of Stephon Diggs. I think Gabe Davis works better in the slot. I also think that Gabe Davis isn't really a reliable number 2, but Mitchell could be that guy. Lions at 61. Where do the Detroit Lions go? They went Ennis Rakestraw, and I think I like the idea of giving them wide receiver. I know he just went off a wide receiver. We're going to go another one. We're going to go with Jalen Polk. Really productive season out of Washington. Of course, that offense was electric. Polk was a big part of it. Odunze stretching the field deep and Polk short. Really, really good after the catch. Just finds space, sheds tacklers. Could give another level to that Detroit Lions offense. Ravens at 62. Third last pick here of this 2-round mock draft. Ravens earlier went Kool-Aid to McKinstry. I really think the Ravens defense kind of sold them a little bit, as well as our offense. We went McKinstry earlier for defense. We're going to go offense this one. I think they need offensive line, but the offensive line is looking a little bare at the moment. Tackles are looking bare. Interior, though, however, I did see a few guys I like. Cooper Beebe being one of them. Has had a few really good seasons at guard. Kansas State, just super reliable, and I think that's what the Ravens need. You can get a good, reliable guy here at the back end of the second, just play guard for you. I like that a lot. Niners earlier, we went interior, we went Graham Barton. Now we go corner, we give them TJ Tampa, a really, really good cover corner in zone. Not to be the joke with his last name Tampa, but he'd be really good in Tampa 2 coverage. He's just a really good zone corner, not afraid to come up and tackle. Instinctual ball skills, and I think they just need backhand help. In the secondary, Travarius Ward's a decent player, Ambry Thomas a decent player. You could use some more if you're in the Niners. Super Bowl champion, Chiefs. They went Ladd McConkey. We're going to go defensive line for them here. Looking at the D-line itself, I like Chris Jenkins. I like Leonard Taylor here. If we're going edge rusher, I really like Jonah Ellis, but injuries, Chop Robinson has fallen here. I'm going to go interior, though. As much as it pains me to see Chop Robinson fall, I really think that's a possibility. It is going to be Leonard Taylor here for me, a really strong guy. He was up at the top of draft boards in the first round at the beginning of the draft process, but hasn't made it there. In this scenario, while we wait for this ad to kind of get off our screen, I'll just talk about it. Yeah, I think doing a 2-round mock draft is tough, just because, you know, obviously it's so hard to predict the first round itself, let alone 2 full rounds of a mock draft. I mean, how hard is that? Looking at some of our picks here, I really, really like how the board fell for some of these teams. I mean, Brian Thomas Jr. to the Jaguars, I really like that pick. I love Verse to the Cowboys here, and I really, really like this 11, 12, 13, 14, 15. That 11 to 15 stretch, really, really fun picks there. and fits a lot of team needs. Fun players going to teams that really need them. I like that stretch. Yeah, let me know what you guys kind of think of this mock draft. Obviously, it's not going to be agreed with by everybody, but let me know kind of if you like who your teams picked in my version of this 2-round mock draft, as well as who you want your teams to pick. But yeah, that is just about going to do it for this mock draft. If you guys did enjoy, leave a like, subscribe, turn on those post notifications so you don't miss any of my videos. Weekly videos coming up this entire year, hopefully. Going to be a lot of draft-focused content, March Madness, NBA, as we get later in the year, and as well as college football. And I will see you all in the next video.